Moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. There's no discharge in the war.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Shepherd's Pie. We got a special guest with us today. I forgot to say my name again as usual. I'm David.
And I'm Tommy. This is Shepherd's Pie. We've got Beth.
Yeah! Freaking Beth again.
Yes.
She called us out on the first episode of Cryptids for not including mermaids. So we had to bring her back for part 2. This is Cryptids part 2, people. We're talking dragons, mermaids, miscellaneous BS from around the planet. We didn't get too many other ones, really. It's going to be like a mermaids, dragons episode for the most part. They got a lot of good stories, good information, good theory crafting to talk about them. The rest of them are like fun little mythological creatures that we're just going to bring to the table, talk about a little bit. Anybody got anything to get started?
Well, for me, like mermaids is like the biggest one. I was shocked that was. I didn't.
No, I mean
call you guys
before we get started, like before we start talking creatures and stuff. I don't know. I think we are going to take a break. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull off doing episodes for this little vacation I got coming up. So might not be able to bring episodes to you on our regular schedule this end of, I don't know what week actually it would be. I knew I had all my schedules up, but there will be a week coming up where we might be short a couple episodes. Don't worry, we'll be back consistently after that.
Maybe we might be able to figure something. We might be able to get like
We'll definitely have the Bible
30-minute
episode. We already have the Bible episode for that week, so there will be something
Yeah.
coming out. It just won't be our regular upload schedule.
Yeah.
Well, it's an Easter vacation, so I mean, we take time out for Easter.
Now, Easter's an episode. Easter's a holiday that I can't actually get behind, though I still will hate on all the traditions. Like, what's with the eggs and the bunny and all the bullshit?
ISIS worship.
The candy. Yeah, it's weird. It's a fertility ritual again. But Jesus did come back from the dead. I do have faith in that, and that's something I can get behind and celebrate. But that's not why.
You know what else is weird about Easter is like there's definitely some deception afoot when it comes to Easter because like you said, the customs are weird, but also like last year, it's always supposed to be like the second to last Sunday or first Sunday, or it's a certain Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden last year, the date was just wonky. Like it was in like March or something.
Oh
If you
yeah.
recall. And that was like, I mean, in my 35 years of life, that's the first time I've ever seen it not on the whatever certain Sunday it was supposed to be on.
And
now I
everybody's
feel
just
like this
that's normal. That happens all the time. I'm like, I don't remember that.
so not normal. So not
Yeah.
normal.
Why
And
does that happen anyway? Why do they have to mess with the day? Why isn't it like a specific
I
date?
guess if it's a certain date, then I could see how it could fall different places in the calendar. But when it's a set Sunday of a set month,
Right.
Yeah.
like,
Like
there's
how
no
does that
like
happen?
like Thanksgiving is always the second to last Thursday in November. That's just what it is. It doesn't matter what the date is
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
date. So I don't know how that happened, and so it just begs the question, like, why? Like,
Yeah.
who
Exactly.
designated this, and what's the motive? And when it's about Jesus, I gotta believe the motive is always like a God cover up, or like
The
getting
first
that energy.
It's the first Sunday after the first Paschal full moon. So it is like a
Right.
pagan thing that we're choosing what day.
No, I didn't think it was a full. It was like something about Palm Sunday and Lent, and so it's like a very set time schedule when it comes to biblical Easter. And it's just weird how do things change like that? I don't know. But I always do feel a great sense of like resurrection at Easter time, so I like Easter.
All right, so
Are they doing it based off of some type of like the star clock instead of like the clock? Are they doing it based off moons and shit?
I'm gonna read this little blurb, but we have an Easter episode planned. So before Easter, we're gonna have an episode coming out about Easter. So we're gonna get deeper into this, but it says Easter's date is set as the first Sunday after the first Paschal full moon, which is the first full moon on or after the spring equinox. Circulation rooted in lunar cycles and the Council of Nicaea's 325 AD rules, placing it between March 22nd and April 25th for Western Christianity, while Orthodox churches use older Julian calendar, often resulting in different dates. So it can be as early as March 22nd because it is based on like a lunar thing, which is weird that the Council of Nicaea decided 325 years, 300 years roughly after Jesus died, to be like, well, we're actually going to go based off of the moon cycles instead of the fucking actual date that Jesus died. Yeah, see, it's all pagan, weird pagan shit.
It's super just weird. Like,
but that's another thing we got to go into. Tommy wants to talk church fathers. The church fathers.
Yeah.
So the Council of Nicaea deserves a deep dive.
Yeah. And I just want the like actual explanation, because that's like an explanation, but it doesn't explain anything. Right. Like,
yeah, so we got to dive deeper.
I need someone to be like, this is why they did it.
No, that's going to be us. We're going to tell people why. Yeah, we're going to figure that out. We got to do the research. Yeah. That's why we're here. Bring it to the people.
Yeah. I'll look forward to that. And then we have a nice little vacation planned, and it's going to be a nice time.
Heck yeah. Maybe we can do like a Florida video. Maybe.
Maybe. We have a lot of equipment.
Me scoozy. I just inhaled water to the point of near death.
It's almost like
drowning.
So to kick off, let's talk about some BS little guys first. I thought it would be cool to start with Kappa. Everybody knows the Kappa because that's what the Koopa is based on.
So I didn't know. I had to look this up when you said Kappa.
Right. As kids, we're all like, oh, they're just turtles. You know, Bowser and the Koopa, they're all just turtles. They're based on turtles. No, they're not based on turtles. There's an ancient Japanese creature called the Kappa. What they're lacking in Mario is the bowl on their head. And they have this bowl on their head full of water that basically gives them their life force, gives them their power. They're like river spirits, water spirits. They're so polite that if you just bow to them, then they will bow back and pour out the bowl of water on their head and just die or lose all their power and like go dormant, kind of.
It's so funny.
Yeah, they're Japanese. I guess just a water spirit.
Why they're in Nintendo, because that's like a Japanese thing, right?
Yeah. You'll like when you learn about the ancient Japanese stuff, you realize how much they actually put it into the modern media.
Just in case anybody's not a millennial that's listening to this, Koopa is from Super Mario.
Right. I mean, hopefully people would recognize Mario by now. It's one of the most recognizable properties.
Not to the point of Koopa.
Yeah. We'll throw one up. I'll put one up on the screen.
Yeah, they're the little bad guys.
Yep.
They like fight for the Dark Underlord.
It says the Kappa has been dangerous man killers that drown people, also targeting horses and cattle to be dragged into the water. Later, they came to be depicted as mischievous beings which get punished, and in exchange for forgiveness, gratefully perform labor or reveal a secret medicinal recipe.
Wow.
Huh. That's kind of cool.
It almost gives a mermaid vibe, like it comes from the water. It looks like a sea creature.
They're deceptive, beguiling.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good connection.
The water spirits are weird.
A lot of these are like water spirits. Like it's water spirits, forest spirits. Like there's a lot of aspects to nature, and you don't generally get, I guess you do get like maybe a volcano spirit here or there. But I don't know. There's a lot of like storm, water, forest over and over again.
If you look back to like ancient Greece, I feel like a lot of the mythology begins there as far as we know. And they have a whole god of the sea, Poseidon.
Yep.
Like there is like one supreme ruler of the sea who has dominion over many different like things that live in the sea, or everything that lives in the sea. And so if there could be a quote unquote god of the sea, there could be subsidiaries of said god in the sea.
Right.
And all of it to me ties back to always the Nephilim, you know?
Yeah.
And it says like, you know, these mystical races of like, you know, demigods, like magical like spiritual intermediaries that walk on the earth, you know, are cursed here. And it says that some of them were cursed to the sea.
Right.
The women are cursed like to the sea. And so a lot of the water spirits are portrayed as feminine. And so it's interesting, especially if there's one like more masculine god of the sea, quote unquote god, you know.
Yep.
To me, I think all these Greek myths are like Nephilim offspring.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, that's the theory that I like to go
Poseidon
with.
Is the fallen angel, creates all these offspring of like these kappa, mermaids, you know, what have you. That's in the sea. That is like spiritual.
See, she's on it. So,
yeah, that's a good part right there. The fact that these gods, the ones that are mating and creating the underlings, those were
like
actually the fallen. And then the underlings are the Nephilim. That's a really interesting.
That story repeats over and over again, like we were showing in the polytheistic episode. Maybe we didn't point it out well enough, but in every pantheon, there's like always a couple gods that are just banging constantly and reproducing insane amounts. And time again, that's where you get all these like lowercase g's, all these benevolent creatures, these things that really don't have much power. They're just tricksters. They just hide in the shallows and pull in a horse here and there. Like, that's not a god. You know, that's just some bullshit little thing. Yeah.
It's funny because time and time again, each culture has stories of the same type of things, but spread across different times and cultures. And so it's like,
it's almost like
keep
they're
coming
moving
back to Nephilim. It's like interesting that there'll be things recurring like dragons, like mermaids, you know, like these sea spirits, like all of that stuff is seen across so many cultures. And so, yeah, I do think it all comes back to the one root. And for me, it's like a lot of like everything seems to be based on like Greek and Roman gods and what they worshipped.
And Babylonian shit.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that stuff all comes from like one area of time and space.
Yeah, they're about, and like, I wish I knew more about the ancient Chinese stuff, because it's like the ancient Greek, the ancient Babylonian, the ancient Chinese are like some of the oldest, like, all the oldest stuff that we got, the oldest record.
It is the oldest,
to reference.
Like, nation.
The oldest
we
peoples.
Have. Yeah. Yeah, and it's very big area and a lot of people, and they have like a very well passed down verbal narrative of their culture. And you see stuff like that too, like in Native American culture and like Latino culture. Like they have these verbal narratives that get passed down through time, and a lot of them are about these weird legends. And it's just weird how they're kind of similar, little different of a name, different area, similar type of like being.
So, totally late for the segue, but speaking of Poseidon, one of his children I had on my list I wanted to bring up was the Cyclops. Because, like, maybe people would think that it was just one, but there was apparently a lot of Cyclops. Like, the ocean was apparently back in the day full of Poseidon's children. There were tons of these Cyclops, and they're like direct offspring of his. And hippocampi, I know people will think it's like a part of the brain, but it's also this like water horse creature that is a direct descendant of Poseidon's. Like there's tons of these creatures that are just Poseidon's monster children. But the Cyclops, I think, is pretty cool because everybody knows it. Like the big one-eyed creature that's usually like 8 to maybe 20, 30 feet tall. Like sometimes they're huge, but it's like a giant. You know, we hear all these stories about giants, and like, did they ever specify how many eyes? Maybe they should have, but maybe they weren't busy describing the amount of eyes because it was enough to say these guys were 8 to 20 foot tall, you know?
Right.
Like, so maybe the giants and the Cyclops kind of cross over there a little bit.
I would think so.
You know, that brain structure is a Latin name, you know, which all stems from like old like Greek, Latin, Babylonian roots.
Right.
And it's so interesting because the hippocampus structure in the brain is like, it's very inward, and it almost spirals around and comes to like a little like egg in the center, almost like an eye, like a single eye.
That's crazy. I wasn't too familiar on the brain structure itself.
It comes from a Greek word meaning seahorse.
Okay.
And it is responsible for like the function of memory and learning.
That's crazy. So they named the brain, or they named this part of the brain after this creature. Because it looks the same. This mythological creature.
How weird.
Yeah,
well, you know, on the topic of like Greek mythology, there is a couple things in my notes, and it's interesting because for me this one, maybe it ties to dragon, maybe it ties to mermaid, like it's kind of the in-betweener. And that is Medusa. And there's more than just Medusa of these legendary creatures that like
Gorgons.
have like yes, the Gorgons, exactly. They have like a tail and like a humanoid body, and they like slither like a serpent. And that's like a Greek thing too.
Yeah, they've been depicted on like a range between like more humanoid upper torso to being like more reptilian, and they don't always have like the snake hair like Medusa has, but that gets into like the reptilian people, you know, like maybe there was some Gorgons around.
There's the Gorgon, and then the Indians had one too, the Naga. And
the Naga.
Like they were like a river spirit that they were very snake-like and like snake people. I mean, there's so many of these. They're all
Japan
like
has
river.
a snake god, Orochimaru from frickin' Naruto. That's the snake guy. Like that's based on a story of these 3 legendary warriors, and one could transform into a snake and shit. I don't have all the deets on that guy, but like everybody's got lore of
similar descriptions from Native Americans, Greece, ancient Greece, and Japan. Like that is different areas of different cultures of, you know, like all across the world. That's like 3 very distinct areas for them to be experiencing the same things and like making up if that's just like made up in someone's mind.
Right.
And it's similar, like that just is too much of a coincidence to me.
And people are like, oh, well, you make it up now. People are making all that shit up now. And it's like, no, nobody's making anything up now.
No,
everybody is influenced by the past. Everything anybody comes up with that's original is actually influenced in some way, shape, or form. Pulled out of the collective consciousness by things that we all could know.
I don't think like ancient Native Americans were like getting ideas from Japan. Ancient Japan, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think Greece was like visiting Japan and being like, you know what, we need a snake god too.
Yeah, how much did they really trade like that? Probably not much at all.
Right.
Not,
Right. And
not
then
that
the
long ago.
supposed like textbook explanation is for this stuff is like, oh, people were just making things up to for entertainment or just like to describe the world around them, which is like they're just all happen to make the same thing up. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. It's almost like it's got to be either they all came from the same place. So it's like humanity had a shared mythos and then they dispersed and created their cultures, and those mythos throughout time changed and they became very similar but different as like that separation kind of like took place over time. Or they had some other way of communicating, and they were actually communicating around those times and sharing ideas, which I don't know if that's even possible. But
right.
Yeah, so there's only like a couple of real, or those things were real and they were kind of around and people saw them and took note and added them into their like legends. There's only really a few things that could really explain, especially when it's global and we're talking about ancient people. Ancient people, as far as we know, didn't have planes or cell phones or ways of communicating over vast distances.
I remember they had Black Hawk helicopters, Tommy.
Yeah, yeah. No, those were sorcerers.
Black Hawk. They're not just regular helicopters.
Spirit walkers is what I think it is.
I thought yokai were interesting. There's a popular show called Yokai Watch with the kids, so people might be aware of it's a whole group of beings because it's a broad range of like shapeshifters, ghosts, demons, tricksters. Can be mischievous or helpful, like good or malevolent, and they can take all sorts of shapes and figures. They can be like humanoid, not like completely human looking, but like humanoid to like animalistic, and it seems like they're just like created by people. The people attribute happenings to them. It's like, oh, this broke, it must have been that little gremlin type of thing, you know, or like the spirit of the house sort of situation. And they go, it's part of Japanese folklore, and they go like hand in hand with the kami. So like they're the negative aspect, and then the kami are like the positive aspect, where the kami are like the god of the house. You know, you might have like a trickster spirit in your house, but then you also have like a god that looks over your house, almost like having a guardian angel. But they're just like kind of creating them on their own, or just believing that they're there and then ascribing an entity or a name or something to them. Like, as far as I know, there's not too much like actual interaction where people are seeing these things or speaking to these things. Like, people say they will speak to angels and demons, but they very well, I would believe, are. And so this is just, I feel like, the same sort of story where people are interacting with angels and demons and they're calling it something else.
The yokai, I was looking into it too as you were describing it, and they really have the feeling of just it's a general term for like supernatural entities, like spirits. And it could either, like, some of the things that they're attributed to sound like what Christians would say are like demons, and then other things are like ghosts, and then you've got like the shapeshifter aspect, and then what's the counterpart for the yokai?
The kami, which kami literally just translates to God.
They're like angels, so it's like they just have like a different name and like spiritual type of culture, but they are describing pretty much like the same types of things. They're very similar in many ways, other than I guess the name or the type of rank that they give these beings. But I mean, even possessed objects is another thing the yokai are attributed with. Like they can take over objects, and we have like the Annabelle doll,
Yeah,
which
or
is
like
like a
Dybbuk
ghost or a
boxes,
demon. Yeah, exactly.
or even just like haunted
So
houses.
they have this trickster aspect, so they're kind of like a poltergeist. I think it's kind of yokai are kind of like a catch-all term for the things that go bump in the ether.
Yeah,
It's like whatever
like
is
culturally, they
spiritual.
just are calling the same thing something different.
Yeah,
It envelops more than just angels and demons, I guess.
It's
Have you guys
kind
heard
of
of the duende?
What's that?
What's that?
Duende?
No.
The duende is like, it's just kind of like a house spirit. It almost is given like sort of like a fae like look to it.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, they're like really little, and they will be like in the garden or in the forest or in your house. And there are some videos out there of like supposedly people that have caught these on video. And obviously, you know, videos can be faked. It's hard to say like if these are real or what, but there's like, I mean, even some really old like photos or like sketches of them, and they're like these tiny little things, and they just run out of nowhere, scurry across the frame, or like sometimes they'll be like dancing in the forest, like they'll zoom way in, and it's like a tiny little thing in a tree or a plant. And they're freaky, dude. They're like little like goblins, or they look like a little like a doll or something that like is just like running through the forest. Like it's very weird, and
A
it
leprechaun.
almost is yeah, it's reminiscent of like leprechaun, like fae. There's a lot of those tiny little magical creature lore in a lot of
Right.
different cultures. So it's like, and it's so weird because if you look at people, every once in a while you'll see like a tiny human that's just like abnormally small. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just tells me that there's bloodlines of like tininess. And if
Yeah.
it was to like breed with humans, it could get bigger and bigger over time until it's like 4 feet tall and it's like a tiny human. You know?
I don't know.
The breed
I feel
of
like
the
you would have
fae.
to have some sort of. I feel like scientifically, like anatomy and biology and chemistry, you would need to have a different anatomy to be that small and look like us.
So imagine this, like if you know,
don't
say the Nephilim are a thing, the
Yeah.
angels fall to earth and they're like these totally like mythical creatures, and they mate with humans, and then those humans mate with humans, and
No,
then
yeah,
over
that's what I'm
time the
saying.
bloodlines
It has to
get,
have
like,
some
weirder.
aspect of magical to it. It couldn't just be
It's,
like
I
a
mean, it's
breed
just
of
genetics,
human.
but it's from so long ago that
Yeah.
it's like it's like mixed blood now with humans for generations and generations. And it's just like, no, I see sometimes a tiny person and I'm like, that looks like a little fairy.
Canceled.
I've seen things,
Our show's taken down. We're canceled.
have you seen like the videos of people talking to the trees and stuff?
Just know that Beth herself is very tiny.
Oh yeah.
She's
I
almost.
am tiny, but I don't think like the people that I see that stand out to me are like significantly smaller than me. And I feel like, how can that be just like full blood, like normal human DNA? I don't know.
And then you see these videos of people that are like 8 foot tall from
Yeah.
Africa now. They
Right,
got giants in Africa. Everybody's just
I'm
like,
like,
oh yeah,
that's
this is
a
a common
giant
thing over here.
giant.
And it's like, no, yeah, that's what we've been saying, is that there's fucking giants, and you're trying to tell us there's not.
Giant blood
Like
that's
you
been
get,
bred through generations.
like you
And
guys
in
are
some of
just
the old,
toned down giants over there.
like the really old, like pictures of like the world fairs and stuff has weird stuff like giants
Yeah.
and like mermaids and like tiny people, you know, like tiny. If you haven't seen the videos of the duende, you should look at them, because out of all the like scripted fake videos I see online, those ones look the most like they could be the real real
Right.
footage.
Yeah.
It's very startling.
I want to do a World's Fair episode. I'm into the old World's Fairs. Definitely want to get into that and go through, because like they do them every couple of years, so we could just go through each one and look at the shit.
There is a mushroom that is apparently not psychedelic. It pertains to the little people, but there's a mushroom that allows you to see little people. Let me see if I can find it.
It's not psychedelic, but allows
interesting. Yes.
That doesn't make
see
sense.
Little
it is psychedelic.
It's not like there's no traditional hallucinogenic compounds in it. So it is Lanmoa asiatica, commonly known as Lilliputian mushroom. Is a hallucinant. Okay, never mind.
You go get some Lil Putane if you eat that mushroom, because you can see little people.
Lil Putian, whatever.
Lil Putane.
Lil Putang is a hallucinogenic, so it is a hallucinogenic bolete mushroom responsible for causing vivid, consistent hallucinations, but the only hallucinations, there's no other feelings or anything, the only hallucination, and it is consistent with every single person that takes it. It causes hallucinations of tiny people. It is native to a province in China.
Has anybody
is known
drawn or described these little people?
There are videos. So I saw this on social media, and so there was a couple of reels where people were talking about the mushroom, and so they just depicted tiny little like people in like either like old-fashioned clothes or whatever, and they're just dancing. They're dancing on everything. They're just around, just dancing everywhere. They are just dancing everywhere, and people think it is absolutely wild. And I'm like, that is beautiful, because these experiences clinically are recognized as their own category. These don't bridge with any other hallucination or anything else of the nature. They're recognized as Lil Putang hallucinations.
So weird.
That's so
it's
funny.
Crazy.
I want to have that hallucination. I want to see those little people.
Right?
We should have a ceremonial.
Go talk with.
I don't.
And just commune with the little people.
But... Do you think there are certain things like that could just thin the veil, you know?
Yeah.
And then things become visible. It's possible. Could be spiritual stuff around us that we just can't see.
It's that's like a definite for me. I 100% believe that. I've had like, you know, I talked about that like Wendigo spirit or that land spirit in a past episode with you, Beth, but that I mean, I definitely believe there are things out there that are around that we just can't really perceive in our normal functioning waking mind, but they're around us all the time, and they're like a part of the fabric of this reality. That we're way more than what we're told. Yeah, like we only see with our five senses. We only have our five senses, but there is so much more going on around us that we just aren't experiencing because that's not the dimension we operate on. But there is like a crazy amount going on around us.
No, quantum physics measures like mass that we don't know. We can't see it, we can't feel it, we can't touch it, we can't sense it with any of our senses, but we know that there's more there than what we can measure. And that just like opens this whole field of quantum physics, and it's mind-bending.
Yep. It's I feel like we have the visible light spectrum, but that's the only a tiny fraction of the light spectrum. We only see what is it, like 5% of the available light in any given place. And I mean, that's just what we're sensing. There's more actually categorically going on around us than we can perceive.
And soft
And I think that
disclosure through
extends.
media has shown us with shows like Invincible or Rick and Morty that they have the technology to utilize those light spectrums that we can't see, and they can hide things in there. So like in Invincible, they had the white room where like
Yeah.
if you didn't
Metaverse.
if you didn't have the implant to see that spectrum of light, it just looks like a white room. But then you kill the light or turn on a regular light, and then you can see everything going on in there. Or you had guys invisible on the battlefield because they're hiding within that spectrum of light that other people can't see. They've probably got that technology.
It would only really stand to reason. I mean, as long as you have the sufficient like stuff to do it, and like kind of a little bit of like a science around it, then you could just do whatever. I mean, I think that's proven in reality. Like all of the stuff we have today is just stuff people dreamed of in the past. And then
Right.
over
Right.
time, people have just sunk resources and thought and attention and
Yeah.
energy into it. And then here it is. We're living it. We're living the dreams of our ancestors right now.
Yep.
So true. Yeah,
So,
the Bible says there is nothing new.
yeah, nothing
Under the
new
sun.
under the sun.
There's never gonna be anything new, so whatever is always was, and whatever was is gonna be. So
And it
On
seems,
the topic of tiny people too,
yeah.
so we're gonna do a little Tommy dream here. I had a dream that was super like vivid, and it was like I was there. It was almost like a past life dream.
Yeah.
And
You
and
were
in
there.
this
It was your
dream, I
dream.
got to meet. Yeah, exactly. Right. But in this dream, I got to meet little people. The pretext to it though is kind of crazy, because in the dream I was kind of a part of this like team that would get called up whenever anomalies were found. It was like some paramilitary group or organization, like researchers, but we were kind of armed,
I've been
and we
waiting
had
for this dream to
satellites.
come up on the show.
Yeah, right. I've already told this dream to David multiple times, but
Sorry,
yeah, so I'm part
paramilitary.
of this paramilitary group, and we have like satellites trained on the Earth and like other instruments that are just looking for anomalous activity, like gamma or just spikes in certain radiation or whatever's anomalous. And we ended up getting a hit in South America. I'm pretty sure it was like Peru area. It was like Peru or maybe even like Brazil. It was South America. And we got an alert, and then everybody had to get picked up. We all got picked up. Helicopters, within like 30 minutes of that signature hitting, everybody was picked up and moving to like a base. And when we got there, I had to get suited up, and they were like, yeah, we just got a massive spike in the region. We got to send you guys down and just kind of see what's going on. And because of the type of spike, you got to wear hazmat suits, like radiation suits. And we're going to send you down with a couple of armed guys. And it's like, okay. And we go, and we're down in South America, and it's like this jungle, and there are like vines, and you can tell that there's structures. There's like these ancient rock structures, and they're all covered with like foliage. And we're going in there. We got Geiger counters out and all sorts of other equipment, and we got our suits on. And all of a sudden, the Geiger counter starts going off as I'm getting closer to this like rocky, almost looks like a little temple, but it's got trees growing out of it. And we get over there, and team comes over, we assemble, and there's like this little room in there. There's a room, and then on the wall there's this circle. There's a circle on the wall, and next to the circle there's like a little like altar stand type deal, and it has like a handprint and maybe some like runes type stuff on it. And we're all just looking around. The Geiger counter is going nuts. Team's starting to set up and try to study this stuff. And I mistakenly and just curiously put my hand on the altar thing where the handprint was. And as soon as I did that, that circle on the wall started sparking, and it turned into like a portal. It was blue, and it was nuts, and it was like sparking. It wasn't stable at all. It was
Sounds
highly
exactly like Tears of the Kingdom.
yeah. It starts
Wow,
going
where he
nuts.
like weird hand on things and it makes them like break.
Yeah. I just thought it was kind of cool. I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. And I just felt it and I put my hand in there and then boom, freaking unstable radiation leaking a portal just going nuts. And everybody starts screaming. Geiger counters are going off. Everybody's screaming. I look behind me and the radiation and sparks wore through one of the guy's suits and he was like burning alive in his suit. And it's like, holy shit. And everybody's dying. And I'm looking at this portal and I'm like, well, it's a portal, right? And like I was started getting hit too. Like it burnt through my suit. I'm standing wicked close to it. It burned through my suit and I'm starting to like feel it. And I'm like, well, if I'm gonna die, might as well see what the heck this is about. And I go through the portal. And I pop through the portal and I go to this other world. This crazy like have you watched The Magicians?
Mm-hmm.
So in The Magicians, there's fillery, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's like fillery.
Like
And this is before I ever watched Magicians. I promise you. I promise you. But it's before that was ever on TV. I had this dream when I was
Just describe your magical world, Tommy.
I'm gonna, dude, because it was cool. It was super cool. But so I get through to the other side and it's like thick like air and the air smells so good. Like it's the craziest thing ever. The air was like sweet and like almost like musty, but like in a great way. And it made you feel like high. You felt high. It was so good. And like I heard whispering and talking and chatter. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And next thing I know, I see all these animals. All these animals are out in the woods. And they're like, because I'm kind of in a clearing where the portal popped me through. And I hear all this whispering and stuff. And I look and it's the animals. They're just all standing around, but I can hear them. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of nuts. And I'm hurting at this point, though. Like, I have radiation poisoning. I'm like dying actively, like very quickly. And I'm like, this is nuts. This is wow. And next thing I know, I see little people, like garden gnomes, like like little gnomes. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of crazy. And one saw me, like they were cautious.
Are
but they
gnomes
saw
a cryptid?
me and
I feel
they
like
saw I
gnomes
was
are a
dying.
cryptid.
I think they
Like
are.
garden gnomes are a cryptid.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know there's like a society? There's people out there that what they do is they literally have a service that if you have someone that you're angry at, they will go to the house and just place guard gnomes across the entire yard.
They'll gnome it.
They'll gnome it.
Gnomes for holiday decorations now. Like all of a sudden, gnomes are like a Christmas thing.
Yeah,
like a holiday thing. They're
like
for
every
like
holiday, and it's the same style.
Thanksgiving gnomes. Like, when did gnomes become a thing? They just put it out there like this has always been the thing, and it's like no, it hasn't.
Right.
Yeah, like, kind of. That is a good question.
Also, on that note, like Elf on a Shelf, the same thing.
Yeah.
Like Elf on a Shelf just came out of nowhere in 2005, and it was like an age-old family tradition, and it's like, no, it's not.
I think it's to kind of resonate people with like the Fae, or because gnomes are kind of like Fae, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're like a section of the Fae.
There was a woman online speaking on this, and she had a master's degree in folklore, which I didn't even know was a thing, but she's like as studied as you can get on folklore, and she genuinely believed that like Elf on a Shelf was created by someone who made a deal with the Fae and bargained to get rich if she could get a little elf into like a million people's houses.
I have heard this.
Now the Elf on the Shelf is just everywhere, and it's like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, she did it. She did it, and like that spirit of that Fae is working in the world. I'm telling you, that is how this stuff works.
It's just another way to call the same thing. Like,
Right.
everybody's gonna see it happen in their lifetime, and it's gonna be,
Right.
oh, that was an alien that got me. Oh, that was a fey creature. Oh, that was an angel or a demon or a this or that. It's all the same thing.
Right.
It is, but isn't. There are different like
There's
principalities that
yeah,
work within
yeah,
fields, but like it is all supernatural in
yeah.
That's
It's
spirit.
like
why I
all the
think it's
vanity, all the supernatural. It's all the same thing.
if
Yep.
a fallen angel came down to the earth, it could reproduce in multiple different areas with slightly different offspring depending on who it's mating with.
Hmm.
And then
But
those
on your-
it could do it like throughout time too, because they're not really like an actual being. Like it's not like a
Right.
dude fell from the
Right.
sky. We're talking
Right.
about a cosmic being that
Right.
is like multi-dimensional and like insane
Yeah,
coming down. So I mean it might have a physical body, but it also has this etheric presence that it like manifests in the world in strange ways. Like these number patterns that pop up whenever the evil
Right.
guys do stuff, those are
Right.
signatures of
Yeah.
this spiritual
I do think
principality at
angels do
work.
talk in numbers.
Yeah, like there's
Maybe
stuff with it, man.
spiritual language is numbers.
Yeah. Numbers are
You
a
never
crazy
know. We
thing.
don't speak the same language as them. And if they can't communicate with us and they're trying to get through to our reality, I mean, numbers could be a way to like kind
Yep.
of cross the bridge and like communicate with us.
the
So
numbers,
real
Mason.
quick on the angel numbers, right?
You can't do that
On
while
the
I'm drinking
topic of
water.
your dream, Tom, before we get too far away from it, I actually do dream analysis that's rooted in biblical spiritual gifts and the study of neuropsychology. And so I
yeah.
kind of have both sides of the education on that. And your dream
Heck
is so
yeah.
vivid. I would love to do like a separate call with you and dive in and do like an analysis because it's very personal. You know, we'd have to like get some information about you and where you're at in your head when you had that dream and stuff. But I think I could give you a good analysis of that.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty sweet. Because I've just been running with it. Like I was just the way that it felt after it happened was like it was actually a different life. Like I when I woke up from that, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
You've
man.
got to be kidding me.
We just read
Like,
in the Bible, Joseph said, "Who can translate dreams but God?" Like, whose
Yeah.
whose right
No,
is it
God
to
has to
translate
give it
green?
to you.
Yeah,
Only certain people are given the gift of it, and I did always practice it just on myself with like just considering it as a spiritual gift.
mm.
And then I studied it in school, thank you, and realized that there is a scientific way to also analyze. Carl Jung actually writes about this a lot
Mm.
and has a whole like
Carl
protocol for how to
Jung.
translate. Yeah, Jungian dream analysis is like a
Jungian.
thing. And he's not obviously very biblical about it, but I feel like having, like both of those
Yeah.
facets
Yeah.
and being able to like, use the science behind it, but also put that through my spiritual discernment filter, I can give a good analysis if God will allow me to, for that
Yeah.
specific.
Yeah.
I only do it for myself usually. But I am interested in kind of branching out and seeing what I can offer to other people and if they feel like the analysis relates to them.
That's
Yeah,
really
that's
cool.
that's definitely cool. That's super cool.
Do you
We'll
have
Kind of
set that.
important work.
do you have a platform for that, or a way people could reach out
So
for that?
don't, and I like imagine to like make one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do
Got
a
to.
top 5 or something.
Right.
Because I think people would be interested in it, and a
Yeah.
lot of people might want the dreams
All right.
analyzed. And
Well, sound off in the comments if you're interested. Let us know, and we'll try to hook
You
you
might
up
be able
with.
to sign up.
Yeah, we'll try to hook you up with Beth. And if it goes well,
Be
maybe
the
it'll become a
first.
thing. That'd be dope.
you can be the first Tom, and then
Be a
Well,
test
wow.
subject.
That is an honor. It is a beautiful honor. That's awesome.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought sirens could segue us into mermaids. Sirens are
Heck
like
yeah.
same but different, because sirens are also attributed to looking like a bird woman. kind of like a harpy.
Yeah, don't they shapeshift?
In the water?
I don't know about shape shift, but
Isn't that like more of like a maybe succubus?
it's always out at sea, and it's like a woman provocateur that's singing, and they're like describing, like these sailors are describing that they're hearing it in their heads, not even just in their ears, but they're hearing it in their heads. And sometimes it drives them mad, sometimes it drives them overboard, sometimes it drives them to the creature themselves when they see them, sometimes perched on a rock or off on an island or whatever. And it'll be either a half fish, half woman, or like winged, bird-legged, naked woman, like a harpy.
Oh.
Almost like that.
But they call it a siren because of the singing.
Wow. Yeah, I just looked into it, and you're absolutely correct. They are half woman, half bird, not fish. They've been conflated because of who they mess with. They mess with sailors traditionally. And it's the same thing with mermaids. Mermaids, sirens are a Greek thing. They come from Greek mythology, but mermaids appear in all of them. Like all the traditions around the world, with anybody that's like moving around in the oceans, they all have like accounts of mermaids or mermaid-like beings.
Right.
But sirens in particular are a Greek mythology thing, and they are not a fish, like fishtail. They're half bird.
Sometimes sometimes they are described as having a fishtail. But like in the oldest depiction, I think, which was the Odyssey, was bird lady. But other depictions have them as mermaids as well.
It sounds like that thing that you were talking about, Tom, with the intestines that like separates from its legs and flies around.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, the Menenengal, the Filipino
Filipino
succubus crazy cryptid. Vampire succubus bat lady.
It starts as a woman, right? And then like morphs into like a weirdo bird creature.
Yep, it's a female monster that splits her body in half. The upper torso grows wings and flies at night. It feeds on fetuses and blood using a long, hollow tongue, like a long, crazy syringe to just
like
suck
a butterfly, like.
Yeah, right,
thing.
right. Leaves the lower half of the body hidden. So whenever it transforms, it takes its upper torso off and its intestines. So it's a pretty gruesome creature in the Philippines folklore here. But its intestines trail behind it. So it's got its upper body with its arms and its wings, and it's a woman. And then the bottom half, it hides away somewhere, usually tries to find some place to do this transformation at night. And it separates from its legs. Now, its legs are its connection back to the earth. So when it's a monster, it's this upper part, and the lower half is still connected to the earth, and it's hidden somewhere. So the only way to kill these things, as far as the Philippines say, they have to find the legs and either salt them, sprinkle ash on them, or put garlic on them. So there's the garlic thing that is talked about with vampires, which is crazy.
And supposedly your intestines are like miles long, right? So it's like dragging like intestines for miles.
Yeah, it's got like literally like a football field's worth of intestine just hanging out of it. It's absolutely insane, honestly.
Salt for mercury.
Yeah, right.
Interesting.
That was what it made me think of.
I wonder if that's like the Filipino sirens.
It's
sirens only
probably just like that. It might be, but I don't know exactly.
There's no alluring song.
Yeah, I don't see the alluring thing, because what the Menenengal likes
just that
to
her
do
tits are
is
hanging
it
out.
feeds on like sleeping. Yeah, that's it, pretty much.
That's all we need.
A nipple will confuse a man.
Monster, mommy,
Yeah,
mommy. I mean,
I'm the
monster.
Holy shit, dude. Oh,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I
yeah.
didn't know that about sirens. I thought they were basically just mermaids.
No, they're the bird lady. Another bird,
Bird.
another bird lady. There's all these shape-shifting lady creatures.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, that's that dark feminine
right,
energy.
right.
Well, they say that the fallen angels are like aren't angels like men?
Yeah,
Or no?
yeah,
Yeah.
So these creatures, if they're like a female spirit, then they must be like the offspring, right?
right. Yeah, they're all daughters, and they're all
And
bitches.
the women who bred with the Nephilim were cursed for all of eternity. So it's like maybe these are the cursed women of
And that's
old.
what you always hear. Like Medusa's cursed.
Yep.
There's I forget the name of her, but there's this spirit god that's cursed to be this like fish lady, but it's not like a mermaid. It's like a fish monster lady, like a swamp thing almost.
Yeah, swamp
But
thing
she,
is a thing too.
but she's like cursed to be that thing, and time and time again it's cursed. The kitsune, the fox spirit lady, like it's this cunning trickster, alluring fox woman that can just look like a woman and beguiles men and kills them and eats them, and yeah.
You know
It's
what's
just,
crazy is that the Kitsune has its own like Disney movie.
yeah, the kitsune
Right.
is super pushed into mainstream media. It's a popular,
Yeah.
it's like an icon. Like people love it. The kitsune is it? It's not Firefox. It's
A red panda.
Sonic,
there's a browser.
Oh.
No,
Firefox.
Crunchyroll's avatar is a kitsune. Somebody else's
Mm,
avatar is a kitsune.
what are you talking about? That's interesting. And I've heard that like these fallen angels, they're cast out of heaven because they got so much ego they want to be God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they want to be in charge like God or be better than God or be equal with God.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they want to be worshipped. And so to have like icons of like people that are like worshiping it like as an icon of like the
Exactly.
time,
This
that would be exactly
it's
the goal.
it's all idolatry. What is
Right.
this?
It's all I
This is a Sasquatch. You know?
Right, right.
That's a
Yeah,
Sasquatch. Dragon. Come on now, what are we doing?
right. It's weird, right? Like I don't want to worship that stuff.
This is fake fantasy Feyland. This is where the elves live. You know? No, yeah, it is totally idolatry and getting us to be familiar with these things for when they come. So we'll have a name for them. We'll be comfortable
Gain
with them.
power.
We'll embrace them. We'll
Gain
want them.
power.
We'll say, "Oh, aliens are
All of
real. Heck yeah, give it to me. Elves are real. Give it to me. Fairies, monsters.
what we give it, the more power that it has over us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's weird.
exactly.
That's how things of the spirit work too. The more, because we're like conduits. Human beings, we're like finely tuned living antenna for the spiritual, because God needs to be seated within us.
Right. It
We're
needs
supposed
our
to
energy.
be with God. Yeah. So
Yeah.
whenever we tune into these other things, I mean, I don't know. I've been working on a theory here as of late. Me and Dave been talking a lot about it, but plasma. You
Yeah,
know, you got this plasma thing going on with people, and like, if whatever you're giving your attention to, I feel like it's feeding feeding it with your like life force.
I do
And
feel that way. Like things are harvesting energy from us. Like I can
yeah,
sense and feel it
yeah,
at certain like concerts and stuff, or like there's been times when I was on like hallucinogens and I felt like I could like see it like literally leaching out of our bodies.
yeah.
right. That's crazy.
That's
Imagine
Energy
insane.
harvesting. Yeah.
like a freaking dementor, just like sucking
So
out
the
your
thing with the
essence.
mermaids that like sent me on the spiral is like there's this theory, and people are claiming that, they have like these secret military clearances and they can't say any names and they have to be anonymous, but they say that this is true, that there are like deep state, like quote unquote elite. I don't like to call them that anymore. I think they're like the cannibals.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cannibal class.
let's quit putting them on a pedestal and calling them elite.
I know, they're just the cannibal class, but supposedly the cannibal class is like fishing and eating mermaids because they gain power from it, which is like such an interesting thought, because it's like a fish. It's like eat giant humanoid fish.
You get mermaid tail, and it's fantastic.
That's crazy.
You gotta try
Yeah,
the
they
mermaid
take
tail.
their flesh from it, and I guess supposedly there's these military operations that are fishing these creatures. They do experiments on them, and then they sell them for these high dollar dinner parties, and like very select groups of big money people get together and cook a giant fish and eat it.
Dang.
And I don't know. So that sent me spiraling and watching like every mermaid video on the internet that I could find, and none of them look real.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of them look a little weird. Like, what the hell was that? But the ones that are clearly like a mermaid, it's
Sometimes
like
they try to
unreal.
depict them as little people. Sometimes they're only this big, and it's a little it's like a fish-sized mermaid instead of human-sized mermaid.
So yeah, there's just different races, right? Whether it be in the sea or on the land, there's like a race of tiny.
Or maybe it's a baby mermaid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fish
Might be a baby.
Little minnow. So
Little minnow.
little mermaid.
What I thought was just Disney, but it turns out to be part of the lore, is that they can shapeshift to just be full human, to have legs, come ashore, mate with man. And then what is your offspring? Is your offspring going to be cursed to be a mermaid?
I don't know.
We get all the media about that so that people are ready for it. Oh, you meet a mermaid, you can have kids? Let's do it. Let's breed with the Nephilim.
Right.
Maybe that's part of it. They sold it to us as kids, man. How many little girl shows was there about mermaids and romance?
I just thought it was like fantasy, but now I go back with my adult eyes and I'm watching like The Little Mermaid, and I'm like, this really happened? Like maybe this happened.
Yeah, it could be like actually an account from like a famous.
Maybe like the prince really did get sucked into like a sea.
Like sucked into something.
Neptune is Poseidon. Like these were gods that people praised back in the day.
Right. Is this a real story?
You know, your mermaid like dinner party thing, it made me think of Harry Potter with the unicorn.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The unicorn blood.
Yeah. So it's like a curse, but it also gives you something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then there was another guy online, and he worked on a boat. He worked on a fishing boat. He wasn't like a fisherman, but he was like part of the maintenance crew on this boat. And he was just like a low level guy, young kid, probably like in his 20s, just like the hands-on labor. He's like a mixed Latino kid. He probably like didn't make the most money ever. He's like lower level employee on the boat. And he's out on the boat at night. He's always like, look at me, I'm on the boat, like recording himself. He's had a whole TikTok. And then all of a sudden he started hearing these weird like siren noises, like almost like whale sounds, but like not from the water. And they're like around, and it's like ambient, and it's like inexplicable. And then like people, like his page blew up because people were like, what is that? And then some people were like, it's whales. And then whale experts were like, that's definitely not whales. A lot of debate about it, and like all the things people thought it was, the experts would hop in and be like, nope, it can't be this because of this and that.
Then the pirates hopped in the comments. They're like, I know what that is. That's a fucking siren. That's a mermaid.
I know what that means.
There's stories of this forever of like, fishers out at sea hearing these siren songs.
That'd be a siren.
He made a following of it and like had like 2 or 3 videos in a row of like, listen guys, it's getting closer tonight, or like it's louder tonight. And then all of a sudden the guy stops posting.
That's a story that happens all the time.
A video again, and then his whole TikTok is deleted. Like the page is just gone. And it's like the guy wasn't like claiming anything specifically. He was just filming his night shifts and being like, "What is this? Like, can anyone explain this?" It's not. It couldn't have been like act for misinformation or like you know what I mean? It's just like disappeared, and everyone is always like, what happened to that guy?
You know what it makes me wonder is like if the military is like somehow capturing
the mermaids,
then there's gotta be something to lure them. Right? Or maybe there's only like certain cities or like settlements where the mermaids are like around, and that's where like the presence of like naval bases and like naval presences. So like you try to go and like fish a mermaid for yourself just to get the video of it, and like you can't because they're monitored.
You pull up on the military and like you get shut down.
And then you get your TikTok freaking deleted, and then you never get to be famous.
If it was just a weird spiritual thing, why would your TikTok get deleted? It must be like somebody's in on it.
Yeah, there's so many accounts of that type of thing happening too. There's a guy who found giants. Like he's videotaped. It's the craziest thing ever. Seeing giants in the mountains of. I wish I could remember.
It made me think of that as well, and I think that dude came back, and it turned out to be fake.
He was forced to say it was fake, bro. He came back.
He did look under duress when he came back.
He was
and
under
said
duress.
It was fake. But also,
it's like that who said that guy isn't real, and then she was like, "I was just stressed out, and I apologize." It's like, wait, what?
Crazy.
I just started seeing this new content creator, and I'd never seen him before, and then come to find out, he was part of the reason that we saw all this shit about Jim Carrey recently. He got all these things to go viral as a social experiment. He made the post about the clearly AI mask and the trans artist that does the makeup being Jim Carrey at the Caesar Awards. That went viral, saying that like, oh, Jim Carrey doesn't look like Jim Carrey. They cloned him. He's dead. This is a fake, whatever. And then on Twitter, a trans artist that does like performative makeup to look like other people said that it was them as Jim Carrey accepting the award. And there was no anything to prove it. There was one picture that looked clearly AI of a mask and like fake teeth. And then there's all these posts coming out about like, oh, met Jim Carrey here. He's fine. He's okay. He's not dead. Or like, it wasn't actually this guy opposing him, Jim Carrey. Like he's here and he says that it was actually him that got the Caesar Award. Or like all these posts saying that he is actually dead. And so a lot of this guy comes out and shows how he made this whole paper trail of false information and just as a social experiment to prove to people how dangerous AI is and how dangerous the internet is and how we need to not be so dull.
That solves it then. We accept.
Yeah. But like how many people, one, are doing that, and then you don't get the follow-up video clarifying the thing, so you just believe the bullshit forever. And then two, they don't do a clarifying video. They are in it just for the views, and the more you convince people it's real, like, oh, I disappear for a while, come back and look like I'm under duress when I say it was all fake, so then that gets even more engagement. Like, people could be faking anything. And it pisses me off because, everybody's a bunch of fuckers faking bullshit. But I got a video later on for the dragons that, I'm convinced it could not be faked.
Yeah, but, no, 100%, dude. That one definitely isn't. That's like the actual evidence that we have of modern times for the existence of dragons.
Best dragon video ever.
Me about the existence of mermaids. Okay, so I'm going down this rabbit hole, and I'm like, well, that's a crazy theory about eating mermaids, and none of these videos look real, but some of them do look like maybe some real weird shit in the water. And so I'm like, you can't really know if it's true or not, right? And then I stumble across a fact, a stone cold fact, that the Israeli president has issued a very large monetary reward for anyone who can provide solid proof of the existence of mermaids
That's
in the
hilarious.
country.
That's
And
hilarious.
so it's like, why would the president of Israel be invested in this? And I guess there's an area of a beach that's like supposedly said to have many, many mermaid sightings, and people come for the lore and like to try to see if they can see mermaids. And so it leads to a lot of tourism. And so people say he did this just to, try to boost the tourism aspect and get people invested in it. But it's like, he literally, I think it was like over $100,000 or something, or it was like $500,000 or
Wow.
something. And so that tells me like this political leader believes that this is possible.
Yeah.
At first, I was
And
thinking,
that was like,
yeah, that makes me buy it. At first, I was thinking maybe it's like rich in adrenochrome. That's why they want to do it. They're freaking out once they're pulled out of the water and they're finally
Right.
caught by a person, and they produce all that adrenochrome because they're like a
Ooh.
deity creature.
yeah, they're like spiritually rich
Right.
in energy.
But
Oh, wow.
but then I thought, like, what if it is like actual ichor, and it has even crazier properties than the adrenochrome, because it is like a Nephilim child.
Dude, so what if it's like adrenochrome is like what they give the scrubs of the elite, and then the like ultra powerful they
Get
get
the ichor.
or they get the mermaid blood after they torture the hell out of it, because
Bro.
then
Supposed like
you get
first
the
person accounts say that the flesh makes them feel empowered when they eat it.
yeah
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a limitless pill.
in a
So
scaly
that was
fish
like
tail.
some really weird like stuff that goes together for me. And then we have this very recent story of this dolphin like kidnapping.
I was gonna bring that up.
Wild. And so that is like, and this has got like doctors and stuff looking at it, and like the science community looking at it, saying like, we can't debunk this.
Florida man.
So Florida man, just to clarify for people, because I don't know if anybody's even heard this story. It's not going around. Florida man washes up on shore. First responders come. They help him out. Wonder what the hell is going on. Yeah.
Sunburnt.
He's sunburnt. He's got these strange abrasions and marks and residual signs that prove his story, no less, because they've looked into him. But his story is he was underwater building for dolphins. He was out there swimming. These dolphins grabbed him. They wanted him to help him build this underwater compound, this like industrial, like almost industrial structure. It was
He's
like,
an engineer.
yeah, this dude. So he is actually professionally does this sort of thing. He is an underwater engineer. Like, he knows better than anybody else how to build underwater. And they found him in the sand.
He also didn't just like get lost swimming.
Yeah.
Like his profession to be in the water.
Right.
Yeah.
They found him in the sand drawing the blueprints for this thing. He's like drawing architectural sketches in the sand, still trying to figure it out. And like, it seems like delirium, but when they bring him to the hospital, there's no signs of delirium. There's no anything that he's hallucinating. There's no anything that he is delirious. And his story, I'm like, let's go look for it. Like, why are we not checking it out where he says it is? Because he even kind of breaks down where it is.
Is it in Florida?
He was Florida man, but he was miles off the coast.
Like halfway to Argentina.
But he had water
Also-
in his lungs from the different
Yeah.
area. Because it was a different area, he had foreign water in his lungs that didn't match up
Salinated
with...
water in his lungs, and they said that while he was underwater, that because people are like, well, dude, how you can't breathe underwater?
Yeah, how'd
so
you
of
breathe
course
underwater?
You're dying. But he came up with what he said that the dolphins did for him was
Said
kind of
Gerald
crazy.
handles it, and you don't ask questions.
Yeah,
Gerald, dude, yeah.
And they're
That's
like,
it.
"Who's Gerald?" And they're like, "He's the main dolphin in charge. He's the project managing dolphin." I don't know.
Bro.
What a
Weird.
crazy story.
And I've said to you before, like, I feel like there is a way to breathe underwater. And this is another thing, like, my thing about flying down the stairs of, like, how that's trending on TikTok, and a lot of people are being like, yo, me too. There's a thing of people saying, I remember once when I was a kid, I breathed underwater. And then everyone is like, oh, me too. Like, I swear.
It's
And
the same as
so-
flying. It's the same as energy balls, breathing underwater, pushing things with your mind. Like, you just got to have the
Right.
faith, the
People are like, I
belief.
swear.
You got to really, really, truly believe and kind of understand how to do it. But it's more of a, like, not
It's
doubting it at
instinctual.
all. Yeah, manifesting its reality, because we manifest
Like,
this
you're gonna
reality with our
drown.
perception. So if you have any perception that it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. But if you truly do perceive that it's going to happen, it'll happen. I think.
I truly believe I could breathe underwater if push came to shove.
I don't.
I have dreams
I
of
think
it.
black out immediately.
I have
Me
dreams
too,
of it.
So me and you probably could.
I have dreams of
I've had
flying.
dreams of it too, but
You have?
yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you believe it?
Because I know it was a dream. I remember feeling so like just like wrong. in
Oh,
the
it
dream.
feels
I'm like,
wrong.
dude, this
It
is
does. It
so
feels
I
gross.
don't
wrong.
feel wrong. It
I'm
feels
like, oh, I
why
should be
would I feel-
drowning. And then it's like, no, wait. I'm okay. But it's thick. And I'm like, oh, why is
I
it
feel like
thick?
I'm gonna die. And then I take a breath and I'm like, oh yeah. Why was I panicking? I
Yeah.
can just breathe. It's
Yeah.
okay.
It
It's
is.
so
It is.
funny.
It's like salvation, though, too. It feels like the Lord. It's
Right.
like, nope.
It feels good.
It's God's
But at
power.
the same
It's
time,
God's shit.
it's
spiritual
wrong.
gift that I was bestowed from God that I just forgot that I had until the moment I was drowning.
Yeah.
Dude.
What a
breathing
weird.
underwater.
Funny. And it's okay, so like mermaids are often depicted as having this tail that moves vertically, like just like a dolphin's tail. Like their
Mhm.
body goes
Yeah.
and then their tail goes
Yeah, it's not
this
like
way.
a fish. It's mammalian.
Right, and it's like I know like traditionally mermaids are like definitely not dolphins and they say that they definitely look different, but same. Maybe the dolphins and the mermaids are in cahoots.
They're pros. Well, that's like
Bros.
they are. They're
It's
like
like-
co-companions. Like the dolphins are like the dogs.
Dolphins
For the
are their
mermaid.
own cryptid.
Dolphins are
Yeah.
the dogs of the ocean. I agree with that.
Yeah, they are. And for the mermaids, they're like actually like their companions. They're
Oh,
like
the mermaids train the
people.
dolphins like dogs.
yeah, yes, yeah,
But they're like super intelligent dogs.
yeah. Oh yeah, they beat dogs out the water, dude.
So
I hate dogs.
the government won't let us do births with dolphins for some
Yeah.
strange reason. There was a long period of time where people were doing like pregnancy birthing. Yeah, dolphin assisted birth. They do like the echolocation on the baby. It's something else is happening there, and people don't really understand it. And it seems like they were getting to the point where
Slides
they
the
did,
baby
or they
out.
definitely did
sonar.
understand, and they stopped it. They shut it down. You can't do it anymore. And they
I know
say
why.
that it's like dolphin protection, but why is it, Tommy?
Because they are changing the DNA of the baby.
Oh,
They're changing the DNA of the baby. So the real reason, and then I'll get into my fun, dumb reason. So the real reason is because the sound is it's to the brain of the child. It's stimulating and it's like healing and potent. And these kids are being born like hyper geniuses, like hyper. They're insanely gifted right out the womb. So it's almost like they get a download through the sound, through the ultrasound, and they're freaking exceptional beings, and they're
just
like
making
they don't
gay
want it
kids.
to catch on. But the other fun theory is that's how mermaids are made.
oh yeah.
So the dolphins are changing them. They're changing them into mermaids. So maybe it's the other way around. Maybe
Changing
mermaids
that's
are
crazy.
the dogs of dolphins.
That's crazy.
Bada
Interesting.
bing.
Well, you know, the baby in the womb is like suspended in fluid. So that sound that is, created to go right through liquid goes right through to the baby.
Right.
And like when you're underwater, things sound different. You don't really hear a lot of stuff. So if
Yeah.
there's a sound that could pierce through that and get right to you as a fetus, that you would like electrocute your senses because you're not used to anything penetrating that liquidous
Yeah,
sac
that's
that
why
you're in.
ultrasounds are terrible. Should be ultrasound in your babies. It's the same thing.
Ultrasound.
But who knows if the dolphin echolocation is positive or negative? Seems like I would be in the camp of positive.
Yeah, me too.
I think it probably depends on the dolphin. Like it's whatever the dolphin wants to make it. If a dolphin wants to defend, they can. If they want to attack you and rape you, they can.
Yeah.
You got a villain dolphin, and he's just like, I'm gonna make this kid retarded. He just freaking breaks the kid's brain.
I haven't got much else on mermaids.
It depends on who.
There's that one documentary, the
History Channel, or like Animal
there was
Planet.
Nat Geo. Oh, Animal Planet.
Oh yeah. You're right. It's it was like a Animal Planet documentary. But that was when that was released, that everybody was like, "Oh wow, this is amazing."
Really?
And
at
for
the time,
a while,
I thought it was bullshit.
Well, obviously, what they did.
It was Animal Planet, and it was just released as a documentary. Like it didn't come out till afterwards that it was like a mockumentary.
Right.
Originally, it was just released on Animal Planet, and Animal Planet typically only puts out like actual
real
information
things
about animals. Yeah.
Right.
And so with this documentary, though, in the documentary, they talk about the whole situation because obviously all the videos and everything that were in that were CGI or prop. But the actual researchers and people that participated, they were in there and they were talking about what happened. So they had all this research, they had bodies, and they were getting in touch with these things in the ocean. And so they had all this evidence mounting up, and they had a body, and they tried to get a hold of authorities because they're like, this is huge. We have got a breakthrough. Like this is mermaids, folks. We done it. We got it. Yeah. And we have all this evidence. So like, come on over and we got to show you. And what happens is the feds come and they seize it all. They seized everything. And they end up taking it all. They take the body, and they're left with nothing after all this money. Because, dude, they had to spend crazy cash to do this. And after all of that, they're left with nothing. And so, but they're like, we still got to get the word out. And they made that documentary. But then after that documentary happens, what ends up happening? They end up getting shook down. And they're like, okay, it was a mockumentary, right? Right? It was a mockumentary. That wasn't real. We didn't come and take your stuff, right? And then they end up coming out and being like, yeah, it was a mockumentary. I'm totally sane, and I trust me.
Oh yeah, Animal Planet, makes a mock out of the scientific animal community all the time. It's just a joke.
Yeah, total joke. Total joke.
From the Animal Planet.
I never thought it was believable myself.
Yeah, it is hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
I only seen it after it came out as a mockumentary, so when I watched it, it didn't really have any legs for me, and I actually ended up watching it like as a follow-up to this mermaid rabbit hole that I was already going down. That was by far the first thing that crossed my path about it, but just wanted to watch it afterwards and see it.
I actually saw it when it came out, like as it came out, I watched it. It was freaking, I was mind blown.
I feel like
I was like, this is incredible.
By the time that I got around to it, I had to pay for it to get it.
That sucks. See, that's crazy.
Yeah. I bought it on the Amazon Prime account. It's like one of my saved videos now.
That's so funny.
Wow. Wild.
Could we take 10 minutes? Or not even. So I just gotta go potty.
Go potty.
I need a couple minutes.
Potty. You got this.
That's how you know you're a dad, when you say things like, I gotta go
Potty.
potty.
I must go potty, guys.
So funny.
Yeah, the mermaid thing is, I don't know, man. I don't know. I lean that they're real, personally.
I
I really
lean
do.
towards the side that, like, if there's cultural legends from across the world
Yeah. Yeah.
that all point to the same similar type of thing, like, there's got to be something there. And I don't know what it is, but for me, I believe what the Bible says. And so all things root back, like, when I don't know the answer to something, I look at the Bible, and there is evidence for, like, superhuman beings
Yeah.
in there.
There actually is precedent for it.
Right. It straight up
And
says that,
we
they
get that Enoch freaking shit talking about what the fallen did with women, and I mean there were beasts that were created by that.
right,
It wasn't just like big tall people that were born. It was all sorts of stuff was created from that. They weren't just mating with women either. They were defiling creation. It was
right,
actual attempt to usurp God. And
right.
so they didn't just do this with women. They did this with all the animals, with even things such as wind. The wind, they defiled the wind. They
And
defiled
they're timeless
the
spirits that are
land.
cursed to roam the earth, and so they don't die, and they
Yeah.
don't go back to the heavens, and so they could just still be doing it all day,
Yep.
every day.
They got limited massively when they got wiped out, because for a long time, so you get all the giant myths. All the giant
Right.
myths start cropping up after the fall, and all these giant myths, they talk about the giants were fucking us up. They had us on the brink, like humanity was about to be done. We were dinner for these things. They were eating us. Like for a while, we kind of lived with them, but they started eating everything. They just started eating all the life. Like we couldn't give them
Like the
enough
apex
cheap.
predator.
Yeah, exactly. We couldn't, because for a long time we were like appeasing them because there was some faculty about them that they could almost be
Sacrificing
reasoned
their
with.
kids to them.
Yes, yes. Yes. And that's why
Right.
the shit is so it's so ingrained today because those beings, Baal and these other gods that these elite are sacrificing to, those beings hearken when they were created, that's what they were. They were created on the earth and they walked around humanity. And what did the humans do? The humans had to sacrifice their kids, their livestock to them because they needed to eat. But so now, as spirits
Right.
doomed to roam the earth, they look for that sacrifice. They look for that
Right.
because that's what it was when they were alive. So
I
it's
just
it's
imagine, like, people did
crazy.
this,
You guys just
and so
spitting
they
good
must
content while I'm
have, like,
gone.
You can do something
go
with it if
off
you want.
topic. We don't really need
Nah,
this part.
I'll keep it.
But, like, through time, if you're part of the lineage of people that did this and had contact with these deities and sacrificed to them, you would pass it down generation to generation, and there'd be only a select few, like, ancestors or lineage, people of your lineage that know about your true past.
Yep. And then also like the power that comes from it.
That
Because
these things exist.
disembodied, these things are giving
Right.
them their like energy. They're working through the spirit to make coincidences line up so that money lines their pockets and power stays in their favor.
Yeah, we
It's
did a little Nephilim tangent.
yeah, yeah.
I'm picking up where you left off. Like that's why it's sold as silly fable, is because
Right.
they know about it and they want to
Because
cover up
somebody's
the
gonna
fact that
mention
it's
it
real.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they want you to be
It's a good
sure that when
children's
you hear
story.
about it, you're dismissing it.
Which doesn't make sense because, like, oh, it's a children's story that mermaid humanoid creatures lure men to their deaths. Oh, that's a cute children's story that we made
Yeah.
up just for kids and
Right.
enjoyment.
Yeah.
So what?
Is to keep
Like,
kids
they're
away from
mean.
the water. Stay away from
Like,
the water.
in Peter Pan,
Well, you
Like,
look at
there's,
the
like,
Grimm's
mermaids.
fairy tales, like all the Disney shit well, not
Right.
all the Disney shit, but a lot of it comes from Grimm's fairy tales. And those
Yeah.
are all dark and horrific.
Yeah, a lot of stuff
Horrific.
that's marketed to us as like kid stuff is like horrific, like witchcraft of old,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like Ring Around the Rosie.
Yeah.
Like we're told
Dark.
it's just like a kid's song, but it's like actually like
Yeah.
some weird occult person.
Yeah, be wary
Dark
because they're
sorcerers run the world.
selling our children Nephilims, deities, fallen angels, and unclean spirits.
Right.
Pagan witch practices. They're just selling it to your kids left and
It's
right.
messed up because we actually grew up on it. Like I'm a Disney kid. I was
Yeah.
definitely a Disney
I'm
kid.
not.
But
I
I'm not like
rebuke Disney.
really into Disney now,
But I can't rebuke my own shit. I'm like
Yeah.
getting a new addiction to Lego, and I know Lego is like pure idolatry. That's all it is. It's like little bricks that you build images of the things you're obsessed with. And I'm
Right.
like, here I am with the Lego. But I'm itching to get into dragons. Freaking
Yeah, we
Yes,
gotta
me
get into
too.
dragons
I'm
It's
now.
a dragon.
I'm a Dungeons and Dragons nerd. I'm a big freaking nerd all the way around. Skyrim.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know what else. Everything. All
Yeah,
the
Dungeons and Dragons is taking
Lord of the
like
Rings.
mainstream by storm. Like every show has like a season of like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Like like all of Stranger Things is like a whole Dungeons and Dragons game.
Yeah, it's a campaign.
Have you ever seen Riverdale?
No.
Riverdale was cool
Yep.
for like one season or two
One
seasons, and
season.
then all of a sudden, like Dungeons and Dragons, like demons
Gang
are
wars.
making their way into
Yeah.
the real world because of like a Dungeons and Dragons game, and it's just like makes you think twice about like, yeah, maybe that like I don't know. I guess it doesn't say demons and Dungeons and Demons, but
Well, so
I just imagine if there's spiritual forces that's like wants to be tapped into our world so much, how would they do it? Through mediums that communicate with us, like numbers, like AI, like board games or little cards, like arrow is like said to like relay like power or communication between the
Yeah.
spirit, and it's like I think cards and idols like that really do hold
Dice.
power. Little
Yep.
statues,
well, like
little images.
Dungeons and Dragons specifically, and I love that you bring up Riverdale because you can just write it off. This is what people will do. Like that show was written like that because of the satanic panic back in the day when Dungeons and Dragons came out. Parents were concerned because Dungeons and Dragons is full of actual demon names. It's full of
Yeah.
witchcraft and sorcery, and you're gonna be a which one is it? The sorcerer? Pretty sure is like you have to make a pact with either like an angel or a demon. And in the old ones, I'm sure it was almost always
Warlock.
a demon. Oh yeah, warlock. Sorry, thank you. Warlock gets their magic from making a pact with the demon. Sorcery usually is like you have demon blood in you.
And in Dungeons and Dragons, you are your character.
Right.
Like your real life speaking
Yeah,
these
this
things
like
and,
pretending
embody
to be these
character.
things is a big
You
thing.
literally just made a pact with your
Yeah.
own mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
For real. And the cover image of Dungeons and Dragons is Tiamat. Tiamat is the oldest Babylonian mythology is one of the oldest mythologies. And Tiamat is like the head creator god of that pantheon. And Tiamat's a dragon.
So if you're a demigod and you want to get people to worship you and you need to get into this human reality and extract some energy from it, like that would be the way.
Yeah.
There's certain ways you can
100%.
like harvest energy from humans, and it's by getting them to like put their
Worship
energy into
you.
your thing.
Yep. Worship. That's why it's like a battle for worship is what really goes on. And what is worship other than it's like worship is an intentional it's an intentional communication and veneration and exchange. It's an exchange, but exchanges only happen through a medium, so the medium has to be a connection. So worship is fighting for a willing this worship wars is fighting for willing attention connections. I think it comes from like I'm saying it again, the plasma. The plasma.
We
It's
need we
the
need to
plasma.
we need to refine the plasma theory more before we bring it to the people. I think
I know. Yes.
we can
yes,
keep
but you guys will be getting
we can
it.
keep referencing it, but we do have to refine it.
Yes.
I
When you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you spend so much time like creating this world, creating this character, creating this story. You sketch it out, you write it out, you like you finish a round and then you think about it until next week when you get there to go. Like you kind of
Yeah.
obsessing with it, like you're hooked on the storyline. You're like energetically invested in it.
right,
Yeah.
for sure. And
There's so many layers of
Can't wait to play again.
yeah.
I wanted to read this little bit about Tiamat real quick.
Nice.
Primordial, or came from the primordial sea, mated with Abzu within the groundwater to produce the gods in the Babylonian epic Enuma Elish. So that reminds me of Eilish, just saying.
Oh, interesting.
Which translates to when on high. She is referred to as a woman and has, at various points in the epic, a number of anthropomorphic features, such as breasts, and theromorphic features, such as a tail. So, again, shape-shifty, but a multi-headed dragon and a beautiful woman. We get this repeating theme that will come across as we talk about more dragons, that like there's sea or storm or sky, like, and this is where we get back to the plasma thing, because we gotta get the plasma apocalypse thing. That's part of this new theory that that seems to be where the dragons are coming from, is this like sea, sky, storm story. Something happened and we're referring to them as dragons. But also
Everything is just Zelda Breath of the Wild, like
right. Actually, I should
Zelda knows things.
continue about Tiamat real quick, or I'll be remiss.
Okay.
So, in the Babylonian creation epic, Tiamat bears the first generation of deities after mingling her waters with those of Apsu, her consort. The gods continue to reproduce, forming a noisy mass of divine children. Apsu is driven to violence, and because of the noise, and that makes him destroy and kill. So he seeks to destroy and kill his children. This pisses off Tiamat, who then also wars upon her own children with Apsu, but they kill him, and eventually they kill her. She takes a new consort and bestows on him the tablet of destinies, which represents legitimate divine rulership. And then she is slain by Enki's son, the storm god, and the storm god Marduk. Oh no, sorry, Marduk is Enki's son. My bad. I'm a terrible reader. I think I'd get better at this. But not before she conjures forth monsters. So this is where we're getting more of these creatures, more of these monsters, whose bodies she fills with poison instead of blood. So maybe these mermaids have some sort of poison instead of blood. Marduk dismembers her and then constructs and structures elements of the cosmos from Tiamat's body. So that's just disassembly reminds me of Osiris. But the noise story, like they made all these children, and the children made so much noise that her consort got mad and sought to destroy them, and they killed him, reminds me of Dragon Ball Z, Broly and Goku. Like everybody's like the reason behind Goku is so dumb, or behind Broly is so dumb, because at first it was just that Goku cried when they were babies. And they're like, that's stupid. Why would that piss him off as an adult where he wants to kill Goku? And it's like, maybe it has something to do with this Babylonian mythology.
There was actually like one offspring represents all of the offspring that's like crying and being loud.
This reminds me also of Saturn, Kronos.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, you know, like Poseidon and each like Greek god ties to like a celestial like
Yeah.
body. Like Poseidon is Neptune,
Right.
you know? So it's just so weird. And actually, I learned recently that, you know, Aristotle, who was like supposedly like the father of the modern celestial, you know, map,
Yeah.
was actually vetted his faith in the elements, earth, water, wind, fire, or whatever it is.
Alchemist.
Yeah, and he thought when there was discussion going on about the proposal of atomic matter and the existence of atomic particles and subatomic particles, Aristotle and Plato actually said, no, existence is rooted in the elements. It's not rooted in these subatomic particles, which later turned out to be wrong. Now we take the atomic theory as the modern accepted structure of matter. But it's just so interesting that the person who is the modern father of science in so many areas of science, Aristotle and Plato, actually are like elementalists, which gives
Yeah.
like pagan,
Alchemists.
Wiccan, witchy type of
Yep.
earthly worship thing. And so
Yeah.
it's like maybe their motive isn't really spiritually clean. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
Definitely not. My wife would be upset. She listens to all our episodes multiple times. We love her. She's our number one fan.
Heck yeah.
She would be upset if I didn't talk about the different types of dragon, because she's a stickler for when people get their dragons wrong. They're not all dragons. We kind of get in this little debate from time to time because it's like dragon is the upper category, but there needs to be a new name for the upper category because dragon is also one of the distinct lower categories. So I'll throw up an image here that shows all the different kinds, but you've got your generic dragon, the one that is the true dragon, is 4 legs and wings and a tail, of course. But like, if it's only got the 2 back legs and its front arms are also its wings, that's not a dragon, that's a wyvern. And if it's got no legs and wings, which you don't see very often, they call that a long dragon or an amphitheater. If the wings are like fins, then that's a leviathan. If it's got just front arms instead of wings, no back legs, that's a worm. And if that flies, then that's a quetzal. If it's got front arms and back legs but no wings, that's a drake. And if it stands up, right, they call that a raptor, just like the dinosaur, which leads me to dinosaurs. Only I think it was 1847. I'll put my stat up here if it's incorrect. 1847 was when the term dinosaur was coined. So before then, they were always referred to as dragons. Always.
That's so interesting to me because the whole dinosaur theory doesn't really add up because they're creating like these pictures of dinosaurs, what they looked like, their whole entire body, the sounds that they
Right.
made, like their like hollow compartments that make these supposed sounds, cartilage structures, like things that just are not
And trying to claim
available
that they evolved from all of that into fucking chickens, into our modern
Yeah,
day
into a
birds,
chicken.
turkeys. Oh, well, look at the
You just
emu.
couldn't know that much about it from based on their skeleton and the evidence that we have. And so that makes me say, like, why did someone go to all the trouble to create this narrative? And it's
Yeah.
so like there's so much stuff that's been created and you know put out as knowledge about this time and time again. I mean, people spend so much money on like dinosaur movies. We were just watching a documentary about dinosaurs and it's just like CGI animation. but it's narrated by Morgan Freeman, and it's all about like a day in the life of a dinosaur and how dinosaurs lived. And I'm thinking, he paid millions of dollars to create this, just to give us like a historical, factual recap of the dinosaur narrative that we've been told so much. And it's like, why? Why, when there's no way that they could know this stuff?
We're teaching it to children. Again, it's another thing we're selling to our children. You got to get it in your head quick when you're a baby. Just like space, just like all this other bullshit.
You accept it forever. If they tell it to you when you're 7, you'll just believe it forever.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs are a 3-part deception. Part number 1 is that they cover up dragons. Part number 2 is that they cover up giants. And part number 3 is they substantiate a space. They substantiate space because the dinosaurs were extincted by a space rock. So there's 3 massive lies that are a reason for the dinosaur narrative as we know it, as we have been taught it, and as it has been like Hollywood.
What was the first
level,
one? You got
like,
space, giants, and what was the first one?
Dragons. Giants, space.
I'd say more.
And those are all biblical.
I'd say more to push the evolution narrative and to hide the God narrative.
Yeah, well, all of those, all 4,
all 4 work to hide the God narrative.
Yes, they're the 4 pillars of disproving God in the biblical timeline / narrative.
Yep.
And I mean, that's important for these guys. Like, people are always asking, like, why? Why would they lie? Why would they lie? It's like, you
cover up God.
Don't get it, do you? That we live in a created world.
Yeah.
We are created beings. Like, you gotta wake up a little bit. Like, they don't care about money. They care about power and narrative and keeping their power. And as long as that you believe the lies that they're telling, they have power. They have all of it.
Another thing that gets me with dinosaurs is that I kind of have, like, what I feel like is like legs to stand on of the lizard people theory. Like, it's becoming more and more visible in mainstream media that shit looks a little bit weird and lizardy, especially like eye things. Like, there's a lot of like lizard visuals. And everybody says, oh, it's just like a glitch or it's just this or that, but it's so prevalent that it starts to become like, is this really a thing?
Yeah, it's 2026. Get our cameras straight, people.
Right. If you think that, like, there's possibly the existence of giant lizards that are dinosaurs, who's to say they weren't giant lizard people?
Yeah.
Of, like, Nephilim creation, maybe they were really giant lizards that looked like they sketch out, but they're actually, like, spiritual, like, offspring. And maybe that's a dragon. Like, that's not to say it couldn't be a dragon. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it gets
and
wild.
Some of the dinosaurs are said to have really little, like, front arms. Same with what you were saying about the different kinds of dragons.
There's your little people.
Like, some of them don't have front arms. Or they just have wings. Which, if a wing decomposes, most of it's cartilage. So only there'd be, like, a little bone that would look like a little hand.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, they got no way to be super accurate about the fossils and what they think they look like or what they were.
Why do they think they can say for sure? Like, they should just be upfront with, like, we don't really know what the whole structure was, but here's the bones.
And, like, just within our lifetime, they've changed.
I don't know if we can do this post because I don't know where it exists, but I remember that there was a person who took a skeleton of, I want to say, like, a cheetah or something of that nature.
They did a hippo.
Some animal.
They did the big bird. They did a cheetah.
Yeah.
There's a whole book about it.
They gave it to, like, an archaeologist, someone who studies dinosaurs, studies the bones and the fossils of that time. They gave them this skeleton and claimed it was, it's a dinosaur. It's something, and we need you to assemble this so that
just
we know what it
reconstruct
looked like.
it without knowing where this comes
And they
from.
took this they took this thing that we already know what it's supposed to look like, and they arranged the bones and made it look insane.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
a crazy beast.
Yeah.
And it's
Hands
like,
on 2 legs.
yeah, yes. And so that, like, between that and the fact that all bones that you see sitting in a museum are fake, they are not real bones. The real bones are apparently sitting in the back. They're not up for everybody to see. There's a business, an actual industry business that fabricates those bones.
The fake version.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Tommy's not
That is
saying
a
the
real
bones
thing.
don't exist. They are in the back. They keep them in the back because they're either giant bones or dragon bones. And they don't want you to see those. They don't want you to know about them. And guess
this narrative is held up. It's crafted.
Every archaeologist is just Ross Geller. Like, are you really going to trust Ross in this matter?
Right. Have you guys heard of the thing? This is kind of a lizard people thing, which is kind of a pivot, but in my mind, like, maybe lizard people are dragons. So it relates.
Or like offsprings of dragons. Maybe dragons are kind of like fallen type deal. Me and Dave had like a little theory on.
This also like ties into the Black Eye Club theory, which is like these high-ranking figures at one point or another come out with a black eye, which sometimes doesn't make sense because it'll be like the president of the United States who has like Secret Service. Like, how does the president of the United States get a black eye? And then it's like everybody from like Rihanna to like George Bush to like Andrew Jackson, like so far back in time, like men, women, celebrities, everybody.
Right.
And
when's the last time you ever got a black eye that bad?
I've never had a black eye in my life.
Not like that. Never.
Not to mention like so many A-list celebrities and world political leaders. It's way too many to be a coincidence when you look it up and see the pictures of all the people that have come out with black eye. And there's a new theory now that it's a parasitic lizard body invader that you go through a ritual where they drop this little parasitic little parasite, like a little
larva.
It's like
it's
a
like
drop.
A larva.
Yeah, like they drop a little larva into your eye.
That's crazy.
And it grows and creates a black eye, and it eventually takes over your body, and that's what these modern day like lizard people walking around are. But they say that the larva is an offspring of this one lizard, like dragon guy spirit. I forget what the name of it was, but that's
probably like Legion.
It's like that. It's like an old like lizard demon that is just surviving through humans through parasitic abduction.
Has any of you guys seen The Strain?
No.
The show The Strain.
No.
It's a vampire flick, but exactly what you're talking about, that exact mechanism for there's a head vampire guy. He's been around forever. And he creates other vampires, and vampires are taking over the world in this universe. Like they're like crazy. And so in order to reproduce, the head vampire, the Eternal, he will pretty much vomit these like worms, these other parasites onto a person, and they will crawl in any orifice and they will colonize, and the person will now become a vampire. But what it does is whichever one is takes hold, it grows a whole other organ, and it rearranges the body's organs. It rearranges your physiology, but then it also makes room for this like mechanism that sits within the throat and mouth of a person, and it anchors into your stomach. That's like a projectile freaking like claw thing that comes out and grabs people and drinks their blood and whatnot. But but that whole parasite thing, and then also the fact that there is a father figure, there's the eternal figure that all of them are bred from. They all come from that, and they all have they all bow before that one. There's like a
It's
psychic
giving
link
Nephilim.
between all the vampires.
Well, Satan was
And-
described as a dragon.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
It all
He's the
roots
one they
back
all-
to like the text to me. That's what makes it believable, is that I believe the Bible is a true historical text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So it's just
there's good and there's
belief.
evil, and yeah.
No, there was that time that people, even the Queen of England, supposedly like released a message about how she shapeshifted into a lizard that one time, and everybody's seen it, and they should still just love her as their queen. Like it's all good.
And Princess Diana was saying that they were all lizard people, and they killed her
Right.
for saying it.
Right. She was like, "I'll be dead soon.
Yeah.
I know too much. I don't jive with the culture."
Yeah. And they
You got David Icke who's talking about it too. He's like the famous crazy OG conspiracy guy.
Yeah.
Talks about all of that. He leans towards aliens though. He tries to say aliens, and I'm just
But
not
if we're
an
talking
alien
about a
guy.
parasitic lizard thing that takes over bodies, I mean, that sounds like alien stuff to me,
It does.
right?
It
Like,
does.
just to say what an
It's
alien
crazy.
really is.
I just say it's
And
not
same thing
alien
with-
because space is fake and gay.
Yeah,
Right.
that's me too. But, yeah.
There's different legends of dragons all across the world, which again, like, tells me that there's something to it. And they're all depicted a little bit differently. And some of them are depicted as they actually talk. They speak human.
Yeah.
You know?
Now that's
And so-
crazy.
That's like maybe they're like a race of, like, I don't know, humanoids.
All right, so
The Nephilim can't talk.
I'm gonna.
The Nephilim apparently can't talk.
That's what I've
They don't
heard.
have the same gift.
That's what I've heard.
And so
I
if
don't know about
dragons
that.
are talking,
And they're
they're
children.
not Nephilim.
Yeah.
If you're Nephilim, if your offspring are half human, then maybe you can speak.
Maybe, but
I
I
don't
don't know. What I've heard, they're mute. They don't have the gift to use the word.
Yeah,
If they
I've
because
heard
the
that
word
as
is
well.
like
It's law.
it's a gift.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like actual
Like
spelling.
prophesying.
Yeah. You're like commanding how things are. I'm gonna lay out my full like scope on what I think dragons actually are. So, as I stated, they're dinosaurs essentially, because dinosaurs were not dinosaurs until 1847. I'm gonna keep going with that possibly incorrect stat, but it was either right around there, a couple years. Dinosaurs, which they don't want to just come out and say it. So there was actual creatures that maybe were a bit more magical, maybe were just giant lizard creatures, whatever. Then there was this biblical reset. Could have happened multiple times. I'm leaning more towards like a plasma apocalypse thing, which is what me and Tommy are trying to figure out. But during the Great Flood would have been, the same time this was happening. It's like the sky is coming apart. When the firmament opened and all the waters came down and all the waters came up, maybe more came out. And we're thinking a bunch of plasma from the ether, from heaven, whatever, all this energy. And it seems to be kind of sentient. It has an intention. It can do things of its own volition. And you see in media all the time electricity taking the shape of a dragon in like a hero's attack. Like you see all these magical moves where the electricity becomes a dragon. It's in so many things. And that's what I'm kind of thinking is like this plasma was described as a dragon to the people that knew nothing else, knew no other way to call it, except for like a serpent of the sky, this great destructive force. And the way it translates is into dragon. And then you also have the Nephilim that are calling themselves dragon because it's the most powerful title. I'm this great destructive force. I'm this great creature. Like nothing else is stronger than a freaking dragon. So you call yourself a dragon. If they're actually walking the earth, it's like they're referring to themselves as the dragon. And I think through the years, through translation and misunderstanding and falsely grouping all these things together because they're all titled dragon, then we lose what it really was. and it becomes mythology and false, and we
Right.
can't even understand or make a distinction between the different things, because I think what dragons actually were and are probably 3 or 4 different things.
Yeah, a group or I have I definitely vibe with that. The fact that there is more going on with dragons, and that dragons being classified as just like is just either the flying dragon or even dinosaurs. I mean, there are distinctions to be made, and
They're
that
always
and that
different.
confusion, it invalidates it kind of
Right.
in the eyes of
Sometimes they
everyone, at
talk,
least.
sometimes they don't, sometimes they
Yep.
fly, sometimes they hoard,
Right.
sometimes they're here just for gold, or sometimes they're like, a protector, sometimes they're the bad guy.
And I think that's kind of where people just kind of, it to me it's like a lack of either imagination or or they just have like this weird tendency to want like a thing to mean one thing. They just have this weird like why wouldn't there be dragons that would want to hoard gold, and also dragons that could fly and dragons that couldn't fly and dragons
And like
that
dinosaurs,
swam
there's so many
and
different kinds of dinosaurs. There's dinosaurs that
exactly.
swim, there's tiny dinosaurs, there's huge dinosaurs, there's like carnivorous dinosaurs.
Dragons are
It's like,
like a race. They're like a
it's such,
race with like
yeah,
subspecies. It's
right.
a
For real.
that's my understanding. And like I
Right.
just like people want to be like, "Oh, dragons, you know that thing that you saw in Dragonheart or whatever
Right.
movie."
In
They
Lord of the Rings.
attach to that.
Yeah.
But and then
Yeah.
The
if you ever say that
classifications that I
they
laid out,
yeah,
Right.
like
exactly.
those things.
For
Yeah,
me, there's
I like that tale you got going on with it, trying to fit it in biblically and everything with like the flood and whatnot.
It's the way it
for
makes
me
most
there's
sense to
two
me, because you're gonna have people that just don't understand, and then you're gonna have the great beings, the unclean spirits that want that sort of veneration, so they're claiming that title or even that shape.
right,
If they're
right,
shapeshifters, why not claim that shape? And
right.
I think I'm more on this plasma apocalypse thing being like the Great Reset, and so
Hmm.
calling that erupting plasma dragon makes sense to me. Like, there's a lot of different reasons that I could
The
see
flood is
dragons just
cited.
be multifaceted.
Every culture cites a flood.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
the flood is legit. The flood is legit. You can't rebuke the flood. Historians
Right,
can't rebuke the flood. Like, that should
right.
be taught better in school, that was
That's
fact.
yeah.
That's fact.
Right. Instead, they teach like just 6 different theories that could be it instead that don't make any sense.
Right.
Meteor.
So, Tommy, can you pull up the video we got of the dragons?
Let me
So,
see if I can.
it's in our Discord.
Is it? Okay, perfect.
Tommy's going to share his screen, but we're just going to crop it in post, make it so that everybody can actually see it. But we want to be able to watch it here so we can comment on it afterwards. This video comes out of China, compilation of multiple people's points of view. I honestly thought it was a little bit older than 2020, but I do remember when it came out and what was going on when it came out. China, people were talking about China had released a warning that people should go inside, stay inside, like stay away from your windows, because it was going to be a really crazy storm. And they're talking about like just don't even look outside sort of thing. Like, China's weird with their monitoring people, but also we can't verify anything because we're not Chinese. We don't speak
Not in
Chinese.
China.
We can't talk to them. And I think I mentioned this before. I want to mention it again real quick. When they shut down TikTok, everybody went to this app called Red Note, and we started communicating with the Chinese really well. Everybody started learning Chinese. Chinese started learning English, and we were talking to each other. And at first it was real innocent, and then TikTok came back, and everybody stopped communicating with the Chinese. And it was like they wanted to take TikTok from us real bad. But what's worse than us being on TikTok and talking to each other is us talking to the Chinese, apparently.
Right.
So
And they were like, no, you can keep your TikTok.
yeah, for real. So yeah, people are told to stay away from the windows because it's going to be a crazy storm. And from multiple points of view now in this video, we're going to have people recording this plasma beam. They claim afterwards that it was lightning, but nobody anywhere ever has seen lightning like this. And
at all.
There's at least 3 distinct creatures flying around in this video that are far too big to be any bird or eagle. They seem like they are kind of small to be dragons, but, you know, if you think we're at this coming of an end of an age, maybe dragons were just birthed and they're young dragons. Don't know.
A lot of people say they have seen
look
like
kind
a
of big.
pterodactyl. There's been like several supposed like pterodactyl type of creature sightings that came and like leave a huge like bird shit on the ground. Yeah, any kind of a bird, and it screeches and it scared them. Like, but they don't have the footage because it just swooped over them so fast. And
yeah, well, that's like similar.
Do you want me to share my screen so that we all see this?
Yeah,
or,
you can share your screen. And that's like Thunderbird, like we talked about a little bit in our Cryptids Part 1. Exactly. Like the Thunderbird sometimes is depicted as a big eagle or a big bird, but sometimes it's like a pterodactyl, like a still living pterodactyl somehow.
Right.
And like, what is that but just a freaking dragon, man?
Right.
Like, does it have to breathe fire? Yeah, it's a dragon.
I can't wait to see this.
What convinces me so much about this video... Oh, I gotta click watch stream. Can you see it, Beth? Or do I have to click watch stream?
I think... Oh, wait, it's coming up.
Okay. Hit that.
Are we good to watch?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, I'm so invested.
我操！刚才一个大雷给这楼全给那干成火花了，这啥情况啊？
See it?
Oh.
It lands on the building and boom.
哎呦我操！哎呦我操！
And then you see it flying away.
And you can see 2 creatures there. Now this is a completely different angle. You see one creature flying right there. There's another one that turns around and backs off. And then there would have been the 2 that were chasing each other that just burst that plasma beam. And there's it from miles away. And here's it from a way different angle, miles away. And so there were news reports on this. Like, this was a real thing. There's no AI or CG or faking this. This is multiple people's real points of view. Look how close this one is. There's dragon fire.
This is a real event that happened. And that, to me,
Why do people in China have such poor phone quality?
Absolutely fantastic.
There's more videos of that. Those aren't the only videos. That's the only video I can find now of it. So, but at the time, Dave, there were videos going viral. Here, let me close the stream.
You got to give the background from when this first came out, what the narrative was.
Yeah.
Because that is phenomenal. Like, so today in the comments, you got people arguing about it. The narrative has kind of changed a little bit with it. They're talking about it being a garbage bag flying around in the wind.
Yeah, huge.
That's crazy.
Like so huge.
Yeah. There's
away, and it looks like
so much intention.
Yeah, no. At the time, everybody was saying dragons. All the Chinese people were saying dragons. They were looking out their window because they heard there was going to be dragons, and I don't know where it.
They believe in dragons.
I'm sorry,
it was part of the culture.
Yeah, and yes, they have the most consistent storytelling mythology of dragons over the ages. It goes back all the way to their earliest shit, and they're keeping it going till now. Like, they are keeping the dragon thing going. It's part of their shtick.
The Chinese zodiac contains 11 animals that are real, and then it contains
dragon.
Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a rat, a horse, and dragon.
But yeah, they were trying to just say that was lightning, that it wasn't a dragon. I don't know about no trash bag thing, but people were trying to say birds to dismiss it, but everybody was saying dragons.
I mean, from miles away, you could see that there was something flying around,
and it stops and it turns. Yeah, and there you see the two chasing each other. They're huge, no trash bag size, and yeah, at the time, people definitely thought it was dragons. It was going around like crazy. There was tons of videos about it. People were breaking it down in slow-mo and pointing out the images, and they do look draconic. They are clearly there. It's not just like a blurb on the video. I know it's hard to see in this one, but there was a lot more shit going around back then too. I was saying before it came up, the reason this is so convincing for me is because of all the multiple angles, because of the fact that it is so not faked. It was a real thing that happened. There's news footage. This is all personal footage that people had collected and just put into a reel from all around it. The government warned about that ahead of time. Yeah. Like, that was an insane instance in our modern day that we can look at and know that it was not fake. And lightning. When have you ever seen lightning like that? Like, what did you have to do? Explain to me how that building is built, that's how the lightning struck it. I want to know why. We need to explain and investigate and look into that, because that does not make any sense. That convinces me we got some dragons here.
Yep.
That's so
some
interesting.
Factual schmactual.
There is a little bit of biblical evidence for dragons as well, besides the mere mention of the word dragon, which, translations will be like, you can't really know if that's the translation, or maybe it meant something else. But St. George, Christian saint, is known for having fought and killed a dragon.
Yep.
It's like regarded as a real person. It says St. George of Lydia, and apparently he was like saving a princess and killed a dragon.
Mom.
And that's a biblical story. Let me see if I can see which books that it said.
I'm sure there's lots of stories of people killing the dragons.
It was Hebrews, Psalms, and one more book of the Bible where St. George is referenced and is known for killing a dragon.
Wow.
And then, of course, there's also the Leviathan, which sounds like a dragon.
Leviathan.
It sounds more like, to me, when I think of the Leviathan, I think higher than the physical dimension, like fourth dimensional, can blip into the third dimension, a giant Cthulhu-like thing, like the Leviathan, I think. Because, Leviathan pre-existed. Yeah, the Leviathan pre-existed everything.
The Leviathan
not except for God.
All of
right.
That's how colossal it is. It's bigger than your legendary dragon. It's size of the whole entire planet of Earth, or the whole entire ocean.
Right.
There's some really interesting theories right now about Leviathan because of everything that's going on in Venezuela. And people are saying that it appears that Venezuela sits in the eye of a physical outline of a dragon that appears to look like it's in the crust of the earth beneath the ocean. And that's why where South America connects and where Venezuela is, it looks like the nose, they say it looks like a large serpent. The nose of a huge snake has pushed through that connection of earth there, and you can kind of see it in the plates of the bottom of the ocean. So if you look at Google Earth, people say they can make out the head of a snake. Venezuela sits in what would be one of the eyes. It actually looks almost like the head of like an alligator or something like that. Like it has holes in the nose, like a large underwater reptile would. And Venezuela sits on one of the eyes, and then it's so big that the tail wraps like all the way up to Greenland, all the way around the coast of California, and all the way up to Greenland. And they say that, there's been so many earthquakes in Greenland recently that coincide with the stuff that's going on in Venezuela. And they say if a huge reptile was underwater like that and it went to move, the first area that would move would be the tail, which would explain all these earthquakes in Greenland and why now all of a sudden we want Greenland. And we did go just take the leader of Venezuela. And the reason why this all started to become a theory is because supposedly the leader of Venezuela said, "You've angered the dragon." By taking him from his country and bombing the eye of the dragon. Where Venezuela is. Dropped a bomb on Venezuela and they said, you just opened a whole can of worms. You've angered the ancient serpent of old. And people are saying, like, is this the Leviathan?
That's crazy.
Wow.
And it's weird because if you look, it might be a stretch, but if you look at Google Maps, like, it does look like you can make out a serpent there, but it's kind of feels like a stretch to me.
So this was during COVID. During the COVID years, there was an anomaly in the buoy system coming from like Antarctica. From Antarctica,
the black
there
spot.
was this massive wave that was apparent, like a tidal wave that was hundreds of feet high. And it didn't end up being hundreds of feet high at least when it hit the shores. But this blip that happened was a wave that originated from Antarctica, and it spanned out and it went through the whole ocean and hit the coastlines.
It was continental.
And
came out of
all
nowhere.
of those waves did hit all of the coastlines that it was supposed to. And it all originated from Antarctica. And during that time, the talk was that was potentially Leviathan moving, like waking up and Leviathan moved. And it caused a massive ripple in the waters to it smashed, especially South Africa. South Africa got freaking nailed by it. And the waves ended up going all the way up to Greenland. Like it spanned from one end of the earth to the other. We've never seen anything like that before, ever.
People also think that was that weapon in Antarctica that the fire chief was talking about. There was a fire chief in Antarctica that
bombs in the ocean for like testing, like atomic bomb testing in the ocean.
No.
Yeah, even then we never had waves like that.
Right. No, there was this fire chief that was in charge of this complex in Antarctica that came out and made a public statement, and he's been on multiple podcasts talking about how that facility that he was in charge of, he had like no clearance. He is the fire chief, and he can't go and check out the lower levels and what's actually going on. But he was talking about how they have the most advanced weapon there in Antarctica, even though you're not supposed to have any weapons in Antarctica. It's only supposed to be scientific research. But they have this gigantic, essentially like a resonance machine where you can shoot vibrations through the planet and create earthquakes wherever you want to. It's a gigantic electromagnet. It's a gigantic direct energy weapon. It's like this super weapon, multifaceted super weapon that's drilled into the ice down miles. And nobody's taking him seriously. He's not in the news. Like,
they have an antenna array that is in Antarctica that is... They disguise weapons as other tech. So it'll be communications tech, or it'll be like like astronomy based, like astrophysics based.
It's just a telescope.
It's these domes. They have these domes that are antennas, but they're also transmitters. and they're supposed to be used for detecting seismic activity and like radiation from space, all sorts of different things. But if you take them and triangulate them, this is where we get into scalar tech, and scalar tech is unbelievable. It's the stuff that Tesla was talking about, and Tesla was talking about death rays. He was also talking about making free energy for the world, and among other things, he was tapping into this idea of resonance and frequency, and he ended up discovering this like scalar like wave technology, pretty much, where you can triangulate certain frequencies using transmitters. You can triangulate certain frequencies at high gigahertz and make them meet at a certain point, like have an interference pattern hit and focus on a single point. And in that point, if depending on how you tune this thing, you can agitate whatever material is there and make it do pretty much whatever you want. You can make it detonate like a nuclear bomb instantly, just boom, detonation, by like shredding the atoms or whatever it takes to cause a nuclear explosion, if you believe in nukes. You can also have it do plasma phenomena, where you can create shielding, bubble shields. You can have it teleport things out of existence. You can phase them out of existence. There's a host. That's like endgame tech, scalar tech, and we have had this for so long. It's crazy. There is actually military and government documentation on scalar technology. And this is like old. Like you can tell by looking at the documents too that they're just old. They're old. They're online. You can look into it. Probably kind of tough to find it nowadays, but back when I was first finding this stuff like 10, 12 years ago now, I mean, you could find it, and it was like an old like 70s style heading and everything for like how they would type up their like memos and whatnot. But
it's like
scalar
straight typewriter.
And apparently in Antarctica, because of how cold it is, it's like very cold all the time. That makes it very stable.
Yeah.
For transmitting these and making it pinpoint accurate. Like you can make sure that you can hit it within like nanometers,
right?
Like of the same of the target. So you can be extremely accurate.
So if you can get down to 0 degrees Celsius, you're not going to have any interference from temperature.
Yes. And so it makes it so that they're able to tune it better. And technically, it's not a weapon. Technically, it's antenna array. It's communications array.
We're just researching.
That's what cell phone towers are. Cell phone towers are the same thing. They're the same system. I know I'm getting off topic.
I was just thinking, how do we get onto Antarctica so deep? This is
because of Leviathan.
Well, I think we covered plenty.
The last thing I do want to say is that, like, the biblical ties is what really brings it all to truth for me. And there's so many signs that are cited in the biblical prophecy that seem to be coming to pass today. And, the Bible says that in the end times, a lot of these things will be unloosed from within the earth. A lot of them are chained beneath the earth. And the signs are there, like the drying of the Euphrates, which is almost dry. Literally, you can go and look at it and see it. And so it's like maybe these things are, coming, like reanimating and are set to like usher in the end of times for a lot of people, a lot of areas. I mean, it says a lot of people will be killed in the end of times, and most people aren't going to make it, and there's nowhere that you're going to be able to hide from it, and the only salvation is through Jesus Christ.
Yep. Amen to that. Well, guys, if you got any more creatures you want to hear us do in Cryptids Part 3, yeah, for sure, leave them down below.
Comes out with a cryptid that you haven't covered now.
Oh no, there's got to be more. There's got to be plenty.
There's a lot more.
There's so many. There's so many different flavors of Yeti. Like we're just gonna do everybody's
version, I know, right?
Everybody's version of Sasquatch. But
Right.
Yeah, no, leave a comment down
It's those
below
ones
if
that
you
have
got
so
something
many
else.
versions that I'm like, there must be something to that story because there's no way like every culture just like thought of the same thing.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
it has biblical ties. Like that's just way too coincidental.
For real. Like, follow,
That's good.
subscribe.
I'm living for
You're
this.
fucking
I'm
me
so
up.
hype on it.
You're making me stumble it. No, you're good. You're good.
I'll say it. I'll say it.
I'm just yeah.
Like,
Beth, lead us out.
follow, subscribe, share, comment,
Yeah.
Yo,
donate,
let us know.
support, call in.
Call it. Let us know if you
want it
want your dream translated by Beth.
Yes.
Yes, dream analysis episode. That'd be
Yeah.
wild. I don't know how that will go, but we can try
It'd be
it
cool.
out.
It'd be
How-
very cool.
How
We should
about
do a private.
what?
We have,
A
yeah, I mean,
private
people
what?
have a dream every night. We could do one a night, so we could do like the first one as like a private, because who knows what the analysis is gonna be? Maybe like it's stuff you wouldn't want
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
no, you gotta do it private
Yeah.
for sure.
The first one would be like a practice private analysis, and then
Gotta do a crash run.
I've only done it for myself.
You know what? Fucking bang out to the outro and go check out Kontraamusic and let him know we sent you. And maybe he'll love us someday and make us a custom track.
Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be dope.
Outro
Please.
is the best part of the show.
That is awesome.
We love you guys. Get out of here. It's late for us. Peace.